In this episode, we ride into some more valleys, along some rocky tracks, herd some sheep, and end up in the city. Not sure how the New Zealander is in just shorts. It's cold. While Dylan prepared his breakfast, I checked out the lake. How still is it this morning? The lake's like glass. Or is that like a mirror because it's reflecting? Well, it's quite thick cloud into the valley, but if we swing around, exiting the valley, we have blue sky. I'm not quite sure, but I think today we are going the other side of that mountain. We'll see if it clears. Seems to do that here.
Whatever point touches, just burns. I'm incinerating some toast. Stop. Oh, that was hot.
So the cook's at it again, trying to burn himself. Cook. Are your fingertips?
Oh, they're burnt. I don't have them. Should we rob a bank? You have to have 3 square meals. Don't want to become undernourished, Joe. It's not good for you.
Do I look undernourished? Dylan ate his breakfast while I took a few more photos. Then we packed up camp. I think I should at least wipe down my visor. I don't think I'll be able to see anything out of that. Nearly finished packing up here at Lake Clearwater. It's definitely clear this morning. And we're on the mystery tour. No idea where that's going. There are some of those long white clouds New Zealand is famous for. We made it out of the lake road and back onto tarmac. But then straight onto another dirt road into the next valley. As soon as we cleared the trees, we were into another vast open valley that ran into the foothills of the mountains. We passed some small lakes and rivers, then through large farming lands, which seem to be mainly for livestock. Circled around the main lake of the valley. From a distance, the mountains are just bumps on the horizon, but as you get closer, they form into these incredible shapes, protruding from the Earth's surface, all unique and all beautiful in their own way. Got to one of the gates for the stations Dylan had access into to explore. Dropped down into one of the many small rivers running down from the mountain ranges before us. There were really rocky sections on the track which ran down the mountain like rivers. We are on Lake Heron station, and behind me is the Sugar Loaf. And I've just thought, The little white bits on the top are the sugary bit. Would that make sense?
Stacks up to me. I'd buy it.
So that's my theory, but it does look like a sugar loaf of bread with sugar on it. Lake Heron's just down here. Can't really see it from this angle, but we went past before, and we're heading. Apparently, it's going to get a little more tricky.
From what I remember, it does kind of turn into a bit of a riverbed at one point. So.
Oh, we get to ride through a riverbed. Also, the mountains behind us are quite spectacular. The sun's obviously in the wrong angle because it is most of the time, and then there's just this range of them, very deserty like, but apparently it may be yellow now, but
turns real green when it rains. It's beautiful.
So yes, imagine the same thing but green. Behind the Sugarloaf there is the main mountain range. This is a very long, overindulgent shot, but it is the only way I could think of to try and show you the expanse of this mountain range. The colour variations between the foreground, midground and background mountains, and how the higher peaks are hardened rock, where the lower ones are still made up of a lot of smaller rocks, and eventually will make their way to the bottom. Lake Heron is another incredible blue lake, with the Sugarloaf touching its shores. I do love how the grey tops of these mountains transition into the yellow grasslands, which would be green if not so dry, as Dylan mentioned. Alright, we'll get on and see about this riverbed. Came across some through hikers who had just come over this mountain range. We finally came across the riverbed, and well, I guess it was to be expected. Dry as a bone. Dylan said it was a bit of a challenge getting through here the last time, as it's quite wide, and I can imagine with a lot of water running through it, it definitely would have been. We then came across a flock of sheep that moved like a wave across the track. There's always that one straggler. We made it back to the main dirt road, so we headed back out of the valley. Dylan suggested food might be in order. Synchronised, look at that, perfect angle.
Sync, brother.
Just stopped off to get some lunch at a cool, fancy looking place. The prices are fancy.
There we go, and that one, thank you. We'll bring it out shortly.
Food, we're getting a bit hangry.
Yeah, I'm not hangry.
I'm just hungry. Just really hungry.
You didn't have breakfast.
Yeah, I missed breakfast. I didn't go with the beans and bread, so... Anyway.
It's an iced Americano. It's an Americano with ice. And you can drink it way faster and get a mad caffeine buzz, which is just what you need. Just good for you. It's good for you. That is so good. Well, relish makes it too.
It is really good. Like, really good. After eating, we got back on the bikes with full bellies. We headed off, heading for the city of Christchurch. Zealand is definitely the land of the hedges. We needed to make a quick stop at Dylan's workshop. So Dylan's kindly going to help me oil my chain. Well, he's going to oil my chain. He is oiling my chain. After riding through fine dust for 2 days, a bit of love was needed. I wish I had one of these when I got the flat tyre.
Yeah.
Although they're a little heavy to carry around.
These really are made like a gun. The logic of how it all goes back together, you know, you haven't got a whole lot covering up what the beast actually is within.
So on my bike, there's a guard across the brake master cylinder, but on this one isn't, and I have a habit of putting my heel up against it. So it's just pulling down the rubber seal. So we're just going to put a thing on so I personally don't keep pulling the thing down. That's just rider error, or rider. What would you call that? It's an issue because of the rider.
Ergonomic interference.
Ergonomic interference apparently is what that's called. Just going to have a quick look. Seen a lot of deer farms out there, and when they hear me coming, they bolt. But Dylan's got one here that probably won't run away.
This is the mum, this is Billy.
What type of deer are they?
Fallow.
Hello.
Yeah.
Do you like a back scratch?
They do this funky thing where they put their butt to the ground if you scratch their back. Have you got treats?
Good head scratch.
Mm.
Or behind the ear. Dogs love behind the ear.
Mm.
Apparently deers do too.
Hello.
See ya. I know you miss me already.
Can we come on the bike?
Well, you'd be coming in a different form if you came on the bike.
Oh no. There we go. Get out of my workshop.
Beep, beep, beep. Ah!
Get pedestrians.
We continued on through small towns, passing farms and their hedges. Then, unexpectedly, Dylan pulled over.
I saw the temperature going up on the spark plug thing, and I was like, oh, it looks like it might be getting a little bit leaner. And then it goes up, 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 and I'm like, all right, before I run it all empty on the carb, we'll pull over.
So is this your emergency fuel now?
Reserve, yes. Well, I can see, okay, I can't quite see the sign to retire. We're like 2.5 k's from fuel. I've got plenty of range. Anyway.
It should be
It's the pickup, is it?
Delicious fossil fuels.
I gave my helmet another clean.
You're looking at old Sooty.
Just that you had to cut.
It's actually not cut, it's just bent back and then squeezed with pliers.
Yeah.
Then I noticed something in Dylan's chain. It's around the bottom one actually, you might.
Alright, it's hooked onto one of these lugs. Oh, how lucky is that? It doesn't look like it's gone into the bearing. Ho ho ho. That's a lucky day for us. That could have been a ride back home, get the other wheel, but no.
Well, everything's on charge and there's a washing machine going. Take the opportunity when you can. So Dylan has suggested to go to Diamond Harbour for a craft ale. I think that's it. And
2 thumbs up.
he's
I need a sidecar for this one.
found a random cat that just likes being scratching his
Right,
jacket.
you can go. Not in the house. Stop it.
So we're gonna get on the bikes and have a little tour of Christchurch, sort of.
Yeah, we're going to go over Dyer's Pass.
Over Dyer's Pass. We rode through the streets of Christchurch, then headed up towards Dyer's Pass. The road wound its way up in the late afternoon sun. We made it over the crest to reveal a gorgeous bay down below. We descended down through the hairpin turns. Then we rode right next to the water's edge, hugging the shore of the bay. We had made it to 2 thumbs. But you're taking me to 4 squares instead of 2 thumbs. We indeed had a craft ale.
Cheers, everybody.
With a side of wood fire pizza.
That's pretty good.
We made our way back past the water, and instead of going back over the pass, we stuck to the shoreline. And as a bonus, we got to see the full moon as it rose. Instead of going over the pass, this time we went under the pass. It had been a fun couple of days hanging out with Dylan and getting to see his part of the world. You don't need to go to the most famous spots to see incredible landscapes. You'll be surprised what you can find off the beaten track. And to explore it with great people makes the experience even better. Thanks, Brew.
Good stuff.
That was epic.
Oh my love, you're such a fragile thing, I know. And with the winter comes the ice, the snow.
In the next episode, I find an awesome trail to ride. I explore a rocky sidetrack, go through some water crossings, hang out with a seal, and camp on a secluded beach.
Don't worry about the cold just yet. The trees haven't started to shed.